We have food coming up next in this lunch hour. Ned Bell is here to make some salmon for us, and Max decided to pop in for a visit too. We're happy to have him. He and his dad will teach us how to make some blueberries and salmon up next. Welcome back. Hope you're hungry for some lunch. Ned Bell is here. Thank you for joining us. And he brought Max along, which is always nice to have. He's a really good sous chef, I understand.
He's a fantastic sous chef. He loves to help in the kitchen at home. We've already started cooking dinner tonight, so this is a little pre-meal, so to speak, before his hockey practice later on.
Oh, that's going to be exciting too.
Before we get started, you've just returned from a journey of just under 9,000 kilometers. Tell everybody what you did and why you did it.
Well, you know, I did it for this generation. I rode my bike across Canada. Chefs for Oceans. So chefsforoceans.com if you're interested in learning more about some future events. But we did 24 events across Canada with some of the best chefs in the country, and I rode my bike between these 24 events over the last 72 days. I just got back 2 Fridays ago, and it was an extraordinary journey. Just an extraordinary journey. This is a pretty phenomenal country. It's a really big country, so you know, but we had an amazing experience. It was just beyond. And the events we did were all to raise awareness for healthy lakes, oceans, and rivers, and sustainable seafood.
What was the one thing that caught people off guard, do you think, that people didn't know?
Well, it's a great question. I think first of all, across the country, the same question was always asked. Hey, Ned, what is sustainable seafood? They just don't understand it. They don't live it the same way that we do here on the West Coast. And in fact, the salmon that I'm cooking today, so what is sustainable seafood? Wild, well-managed fisheries. So wild salmon, wild halibut, spot prawns, you know, the phenomenal seafood that we have from the West Coast. But then again, how do we feed potentially 9 billion people by 2050? Well, we have to look towards aquaculture. So land-based closed containment aquaculture. So
and that's
fish
what
farms,
this salmon is, from a fish farm in Port Hardy.
This is actually a project that Willie Mitchell's a partner in. So this is the Namjees First Nations, and this salmon is called Kutera. So it's the branded name is Kutera, but it's farmed Atlantic salmon. So it's an Atlantic salmon species, tastes the same as open net pen salmon, but it's better for the environment because you can control what goes in and what goes out, which is really, really important. What goes in and what goes out to the fish farm.
So what are we making? Let's get cooking.
So we're going to do some salmon. We're going to make a little blueberry. So when you ride your bike across the country and you start on Canada Day, you don't have a lot of recipes that are. So I've made this recipe with you before because I missed BC blueberry season and I'm so excited. So we're doing a little BC blueberry.
Red onions, blueberries.
Little red onions, shallots, blueberries, and then some balsamic vinegar from Venturi Schultz over on Vancouver Island. You want a little bit
for you?
It's a little bit warm.
So Ned, the Fraser Valley Food Show, gluten-free living show.
Yep.
How are you finding the community in terms of farm fish, in terms of, you know, land-based foods and whatnot?
2/3 of all.
Is everybody opening up their minds to it now?
They're beginning to. You know, the Oceanwise program, the Sea Choice program, so we're just seasoning the salmon here with a little bit of salt. They've only been around for 10 years, right? Yep. So these are new conversations. And
what kind of salt is this, sorry?
This is actually smoked sea salt.
Yep.
Kind of cool. So sear it, hot pan, a little bit of olive oil. Once it's done cooking, a few minutes on that side, you flip it over, you finish it cooking it for a few minutes more on the other side, and then you're ready to rock.
When we do it at home, and when we flip, we're probably, what, 2 minutes? How can we tell that it's done and we're not overcooking it? Because the worst thing is overcooked fish.
It's sort of similar to chicken or to beef and salmon. It's an animal protein, right? So it's a muscle. So if you have a limp hand, this is rare, and if you make a fist, this is well done. So what you want is somewhere firm in the middle, and that's medium rare medium, and that would be perfectly cooked. The BC blueberry.
Those are really cooked down.
Well, you're trying to make a really quick sauce. A little bit of honey, a little bit of balsamic, some BC blueberries. Super, super simple. And then, I don't know how much time we have left.
Yeah, 2.5, we're good.
2.5, okay, we're good. So we're just gonna continue chatting. I'll maybe answer your question about what did I hear across the country, especially with fish aquaculture, fish farming, people are really curious. What is good fish farming? Because, you know, of course, fish farming is people often think it's a bad word. It's not actually a bad word. 2/3 of all seafood is purchased at the retail level. So what's really important to understand is that a lot of that seafood is not always wild, because a lot of the wild seafood that we're getting, you know, we don't have enough of it, right? We want to try and protect it.
So how do you decide which is okay farmed fish to buy and which isn't?
Well, certainly we're so lucky to live on the West Coast, because we've got great wild, well-managed fisheries, halibut, the 5 species of salmon, BC spot prawns, the ling cod, the list goes on and on and on. Really, you know, as you get further into the middle of the country, or even like Abbotsford with the upcoming Eat Show, or the upcoming show, Fraser Valley Food Show, we're really excited to be able to showcase ingredients that come from the Fraser Valley. Abbotsford is the bread basket, or, you know, the Fraser Valley is the bread basket of British Columbia when it comes to ingredients. So I love going out there to cook, because people are always really engaged with farm. You know, agriculture is really connected to aquaculture. So for me, it's sort of the same message.
So we're adding avocado. Oh, adding avocado to everything is a good idea.
I love avocado, and you know what? This is so healthy for you. It's really good fat. Max, you love avocado, don't you, buddy? He really does. Kids actually love avocado, and kids love this salad because you're making a little bit of a sweet sauce to go on top of.
Yum.
Yeah. So this is, you know, with the blueberries and the balsamic. And then you just pour
really good salad dressing and
Ooh.
Warm salad, right? You could add a little bit of chopped bacon there if you wanted. Just look at that. Doesn't that look spectacular?
Well, we'd have to try to really give you the
You're
full...
going to have, fair enough. You got 10 seconds to dive in.
Maxie, you go first. You don't want any?
He'll have a little bit of the blueberry sauce.
Okay, so information on the Fraser Valley Food Show, website fraservalleyfoodshow.com. They're also on Twitter at FVFoodShow, plus Facebook.com, the Fraser Valley Food Show. Ned, of course, you can find Ned on Twitter at Ned Bell. Congratulations on the ride.
Thank you. There's a couple of great, really great hosts next weekend. I'm demoing all Saturday next weekend out in Abbotsford. Really excited to go back and show off some of the phenomenal ingredients from the Fraser Valley.
And pick up some as well, probably.
And pick up some, exactly.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. It is a gorgeous day out. Take advantage of it. Now the weather is shifting on the south coast. Sonia has your full forecast when we come back.
It's good, right?